a little bit too laborious for me, man.
Okay.
I think the stuff in the cartons is just fine enough for my skill level of. I mean, I want to aspire to be homemade stock guy, but I'm not there.
Yeah, we got a lot of cartons. Reduced sodium, that's the key. I will once or twice a year, usually in the winter, just because I know we'll be making soup, and we eat like a decent amount of whole chickens. I'll make like one or two, and I get really excited whenever I use it. And I'm like, how do people just have this stuff all the time?
I think it's something that looks cooler than maybe it actually is.
I know. Like I'll even see recipes or watch videos when it's like, make sure you use homemade stock. I'm like, I wish my taste buds were that discerning, but I'm not there yet.
Same.
Yeah, that's all right. The store-bought stuff is good. It serves a purpose. All right, Wes, Chris, we got through yesterday. There weren't a whole lot of thought. I mean, there were thoughts from Charlotte. You both published your own, but in terms of takeaways, fewer from that game than maybe all three yet this season. Did anything hit you in the last 24 hours? Like, oh, I've unlocked the secret. Is there anything else to say about Charlotte?
I really wish I had some just like deep thoughts to give everybody something new to kind of chew on, but I don't know, man. Chris,
that's fine. You don't have to.
Chris, bail me out here. You got anything?
Punting, long snap and punt.
Yeah, I'm punting this over to you.
Fumbled the snap.
That's the one. That's the sack bunt.
That's right.
The failed sack bunt is just dropping.
The pop up. West pop.
Which Baker Mayfield does about 18 times a game now for the Panthers.
You know, I haven't watched a single. I'm obviously stalling. I haven't watched a single snap of Panthers football this year, and I'm a Panthers fan.
It's been atrocious.
And
your health is better for it.
Yeah, it has been atrocious.
It is partially unavailability and partially like a mental health decision of like, all right, I'm good.
If Baker Mayfield doesn't bobble the snap, then his pass gets batted at the line of scrimmage, and if that doesn't happen, then it's a pick. Those are the only outcomes.
Wow. Okay.
DJ Moore had one catch for 2 yards last game. I did this with Preston in the last hour. DJ Moore's had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons with Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater, and bonus trivia points if either one of you can tell me who the Panthers quarterback was in 2019.
That was Kyle Allen. But
how did you do that?
Well, I did. I heard y'all. See, because I listened to the show.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I may have been able to come up with that. Maybe. It's burned in my brain.
I probably forgot who Kyle Allen was on like January 4th, 2020.
It's wild that you say that because I don't even have. It's weird. You know, when you think about football, I have sort of a general impression of how the dude moved, what he looked like in a uniform. 0. I have nothing. Was he number 17?
Either 17 or 7, and both of those could be wrong. But I think there was a 7 in there.
I have 0% of any Kyle Allen.
He's just Jimmy Clausen in my brain.
But see, that's the thing. I see Jimmy Clausen. I got him.
Yeah,
nothing for Kyle Allen. That's wild.
I remember Jimmy Clausen. That was like in the early days of Gamecock recruiting internet.
Oh,
when
yeah,
Spurrier was here, and that was the guy. Can we get Jimmy Clausen? They didn't.
You don't remember the story? He pulled up to a recruiting visit in a limo, and everybody was like,
"Here."
It wasn't here. It was ever he went to
Notre Dame,
maybe Notre Dame,
like a UCLA or something. Yeah, Southern Cal.
Good old days.
Kyle Allen, I think, was a big signee for Kevin Sumlin at A&M, and what did he end up transferring to Houston?
Houston, yeah,
I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let me get back to your question.
He had Kyler Murray and Kyle Allen, and Kenny Hill ended up being the starting quarterback that season, right?
I think that's right. Because Carolina did see Kyler Murray in 15 at A&M. Yeah. They played against Kyler Murray. By the way, Kyler Murray, I saw Kev Roche put this on. He retweeted it. So you know how Kyler Murray runs? Mm-hmm. Like, he's extremely fast, but he has an interesting style.
He kind of flails.
And it's almost like a half waddle, but at an extreme speed.
Like a Jalen waddle.
He runs like a video game animation that's not quite right.
Yeah, you didn't get that graphic right. It was something like, I need to go pull it up and find it, but somebody said that he ran like a toddler who had just stolen some cookies and was trying to run away from his parents.
That sounds right.
And Kev was like, that's the perfect
a little bit.
distillation. Somebody finally, he's like, I've been trying to figure this out, and somebody finally did it.
That's really good.
Charlotte.
Were you finished with Baker?
No, I have no thoughts on Baker.
Right, that's fine.
I mean, I'll just go off what you've said, that he's not been very good.
He looks like the worst starting quarterback in the NFL.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah.
There's been some bad
Davis
quarterbacks.
Mills is starting right now.
Davis Mills, who his coaching staff wanted him to retire when he was with the Bills. They wanted him to retire so he could coach.
Yeah.
Josh
Davis,
Allen.
the neck, Mills.
Is the Peterman, is Nathan Peterman still in the league somewhere?
Probably. He'd be better than Baker for sure because he can hang on to the football. And seriously, since Baker entered the league, no one has had more balls batted at the line of scrimmage than Baker Mayfield. And there are other short quarterbacks.
Let's
Like
get
Kyler
football.
Murray.
Let's get football dork here. I think that's because of his overinflated ego. He probably thinks he can make some throws that he just can't make, or if he would just step and slide in a pocket, he can make the throw. But probably there's something in his mind that says he can make a throw because there's more 6-foot quarterbacks in the league than there's probably ever been, right? You think about Tua, Kyler, obviously Baker, Drew Brees did it for forever. There's a lot of those dudes.
Russell
Spencer, to bring back Spencer Rattler now.
No.
Russell Wilson.
No.
There's a lot of those dudes, but somehow he hasn't figured out the way to get, because Spencer doesn't have that issue. We haven't seen that yet. And that could be an issue.
He's got different arm angles too, which helps. That's in the scouting report now for Baker too. So like as a lineman, when you're rushing the passer, you're thinking about getting to the passer, right? Like your first instinct is not get your arms up. When you're playing Baker, you're probably harping on that in practice that week, right?
Oh,
like,
there's something. Yeah, there's
if
something
you're not getting
there.
there, arms up.
Absolutely, especially when you're playing a shorter quarterback. There's definitely more opportunities as opposed to when you're playing, Josh Allen. He's looking down on everybody.
Yeah, you can put your arms as high up as you want. You're not getting the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
I found the Kyler Murray thing. It's apparently from a scouting report. I don't know if it was like
even better.
I don't know if it was like a draft time scouting report or a scouting report like in season when he got the NFL. Jordan Reed put it out on Twitter, and our buddy Kev retweeted it. I got it almost right. He runs like a toddler that just stole their parents' phone. So that is a good one. Accurate.
I can attest.
Yes.
I can attest. Only thing they just need to be shouting "mine" as they're running away, and then
or crying or something like that.
Yeah, something.
Yeah. This sounds like this happened this morning.
Which morning you want to count?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Baker's bad. I can't wrap my brain around Baker being worse than Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater, and Kyle Allen, but it's happening. Wes, have you been watching the Panther games?
No. For my own health.
That's fine.
Wait, are both of you all Panthers fans?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Panther fan, but I don't even know if it can be called like true fandom. It's more like, all right, I have stuff to do on Sunday. I'm going to put the game on the background. If they're good, I'm like, oh yeah, Panthers. Big fan. I'm completely the definition of bandwagon.
Fair weather.
Yeah.
It's like anybody that's a Hornets fan. It's like, are you a Hornets fan? I guess.
It's a preferred team, not a fan.
And I like to say I embrace that philosophy. There's nothing wrong. We embrace bandwagon fans here on the Extra Point.
What's your top bandwagon right now, Preston?
Oh well, it's obviously playoff time's coming, so it's the Braves. It's the Bravos.
Okay.
I'm here.
Chris,
let's go.
Who's your top
chop
bandwagon
on.
team?
Actually, I mean, the first one that came, I'm not a bandwagon Braves, and I'm a little bit more than a casual Panthers fan, even though I haven't watched a game. Should probably turn in my card. Y'all are gonna get mad, or you will. Everybody else will be like, "Who is that?" Man City, because I've always liked Kevin De Bruyne, and then they got Erling Haaland, and I'm like, these guys are insanely good, so I just like watching them play. But I'm not even a fan of them. I just like watching. I deliberately didn't pick a Premier League team, just so that I wouldn't have the mental health, thing of being able to live and die by every game. I do like U.S. soccer, but that was also a bad decision because they do bad things a lot.
Yeah, you know what sucks? Being a sports fan. All of it, always. Unless you only pull for Alabama.
I mean, my team just won the WNBA championship. So
that's true. That's good.
Obviously, I've been a fan for years now. So
yeah,
decades, really.
For sure.
I haven't missed a game.
Yeah.
Decades.
Wes, who's your top bandwagon team right now?
I mean, Panthers. Yeah. I mean,
that's not a bandwagon you want to be on. That's like your ass is just dragging on the ground. There's no wagon anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I don't guess there's anybody. You mean somebody that's like kind of peaking right now that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah. Just hop on, have fun.
I don't think there is one. But yeah, we did welcome Preston back to the Braves. We actually officially
I'm back.
had a ceremony. What was that, late last week?
Ceremony.
He's like, season almost over? All right, I'm in.
We talked about that the day after they won the World Series because I knew that I mean, by his own admission, used to be a huge Braves fan. I used to be a big Braves fan. And we both sat in that room. And I was like, hey, the Braves just won the World Series. It's like,
so, I mean,
not the same.
sometimes I just think like, I wonder what Jeff Blauser's doing now, or like Mark Lemke, some of my guys, you know. So
Ryan
I mean,
Klesko.
what's Klesko up to these days, man? These are my dudes. So it's been a while, and I didn't feel right claiming the championship.
but this one this year, you'll feel better.
I'm
about.
here this year.
Yeah.
I'm here for the
good.
repeat.
Present.
We're doing the meme, by the way, just saying dudes' names. Just dudes can just sit around for 2 hours and say the names of people that played sports and entertain themselves.
Mhm.
For sure.
Rafael Belliard.
Oh man, what a dude!
Throwback.
My guys.
I can't kick the Bills. That's my hardcore bandwagon right now.
Oh, the Bills.
I
You're on.
love the Bills. I get so upset. I got so upset when they lost this weekend.
I doubt he's listening, but I do know Patrick Kelly, my guy. Education, one of the best educators I know. Lifelong Bills fan.
Really,
The one that I know that's for sure. So I need to check in on him.
love it.
Somebody needs to check in on Ken Dorsey if y'all saw the video of him not just having a, I'm going to throw my headset moment. It was I'm going to pick up new things just so I can throw them again. Like that looked like a toddler having a temper tantrum.
That was the toddler for sure.
Yeah, after the phone gets taken away from them after they ran off from their parents.
That was a rough one.
Tide to Citizen, the text line said he's a Crimson Tide bandwagon guy.
Oh,
That's a bad one.
Doesn't even count anymore.
I like the explanation for that. What's going on that made you jump on the bandwagon?
Winning.
Probably just fun to not watch
They
teams
just win
suck on
all the
offense.
time.
Huh?
They just win all the time.
That's why it's the best bandwagon, right? I mean, that would not be my case. I like the Bills because I found this out recently, actually, and it made me double down. They were the last team to make the playoffs in the 21st century. All other 31 NFL teams made the playoffs at least one time before the Bills went to the playoffs for the first time this century.
Is bandwagon the same as program crushes? And I'm assuming that these guys are not allowed to have program crushes, but I have a few.
I'll allow them to. They don't allow themselves to.
Yeah, just allow yourself.
That's why I thought I asked you the bandwagon question first specifically because I thought you were going to say Kentucky and this whole radio station would just.
I can't.
Burn to the ground.
It's too close.
Yeah,
it's too close.
Wes, Chris, did you hear this? We were just talking to Professor Derek White, who's over at Kentucky. And we were like, "Yeah, Carolina fans are so sick of your school." It's like, what does Kentucky think about South Carolina? And it was just like, they don't.
He was like, they don't?
They don't.
Oh.
Yeah. He was like, they're thinking about Louisville and Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Put that on the bulletin board, Shane.
Yeah,
They don't.
seriously.
Professor Derek White of African American Studies says they don't think about you.
We don't
It was
think.
tough. It was really tough. All right, 803-404-6100. Your bandwagon. Is that the same as a program crush or is it different?
It's similar, but it's not the same. Program crush, I think, is I just watch them over a period of time and just say I would like a little bit of that for myself over here.
Yeah.
Bandwagon is just like, hey, that looks fun. Let's go hang out with those folks for a little while.
I saw a metric yesterday on Twitter. It was like the teams that have the biggest disparity between their offensive and defensive performances, like the teams that are just completely carried by one side of the football. No one has a greater disparity in the country than Iowa, who's like 4th in defense and like 127th in offense.
I love that. That is, I don't have a program. I have a program crush on Iowa because it's so funny every year. How bad, like the whole, like they just punt on first down, like all the jokes you can make.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I
so
absolutely love it.
So yeah, program crush, bandwagon. Y'all let us know, 803-404-6100. We will talk about Charlotte if there's anything else left to say. If you guys have any other thoughts from the game, you can let us know. We'll also start to talk about SC State as that is now the day after tomorrow. Very close. Thursday night, 7 o'clock, South Carolina, SC State. More with Wes and Chris in the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour next.
The early game, 6 to 9 a.m.
I think South Carolina's playing with heart and effort. Something, whether it's talent, whether it's coaching, whether it's strength and conditioning, something hasn't clicked for them to be able to line up and match the physical nature of Arkansas and obviously the week before being able to line up and move Georgia State around on the offensive line. But you're right. There's opportunities ahead for this team to continue to improve and get better.
The early game on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This is Damon Amendolara with your CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. There should be concern in LA that yet another hugely anticipated Charger season is splintering. Rashawn Slater done for the year. Bosa is now week to week. And Brandon Staley kept his injured franchise QB in the game in a 28-point loss. This is Damon Amendolara.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Due to upcoming government regulations, the current minimum SEER rating for HVAC systems will change. It's time for you to call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Current inventory cannot be sold after December 31st. And as the year 2023 starts, customers can expect to pay an average of 30% more for a new SEER 2 HVAC system. What does this mean for you, the customer? There is no better time to purchase a new HVAC system, and AAA Heating and Air must empty their warehouse to make room for the new systems. No deals will be turned down. With our 15-year warranty and guaranteed financing, AAA Heating and Air have made it possible for anyone to get a new system. Call them today, 803-677-1500. You can enjoy new home comfort as quickly as tomorrow. 803-677-1500. Tell them you heard it here with Bill Gunner on 107.5 The Game.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Guys, if you've been using or wanting to try Viagra but are worried about the cost, we have great news. You can finally get real results at huge discounts with the generic form of the little blue pill at TryMaleMD.com. That's right, you can now get the generic form of Viagra that works just the same with the same active ingredient but 90% cheaper. Yes, I said you can get the same results as Viagra but 90% cheaper. But you have to go to this exclusive address, TryMaleMD.com. Never pay pharmacy prices of $15 a pill or more. Get the same results for as little as $1.30 a pill. And get it 100% online at TryMaleMD.com. No expensive or awkward doctor's visits required. You really can have those breathtaking, toe-curling moments again and again. Results are guaranteed. Just go to TryMaleMD.com. Answer a few simple questions and your free 12-month prescription can be approved in just hours and shipped directly to your front door with free discreet rush shipping. Just go to TryMaleMD.com right now. We'll rush you your supply delivered discreetly to your door. Go to TryMaleMD.com. Go to TryMaleMD.com.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour.
Presented by Firehouse Subs. Founded by firemen with Pearson Fowler,
Chris Clark, and Wes Mitchell.
On the home of the Gamecocks.
107.5
The Game.
11:23, Tuesday morning. Welcome in. Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Pearson, Preston, Chris, Wes here with you. Shane Beamer has his weekly press conference coming up in just about 2 hours. He'll talk about the South Carolina State game moving to Thursday. What does that do to impact the week of preparation? Preston, you said not a whole lot. You get your Tuesday work day in. I guess that means tomorrow is probably more of a walkthrough and less of a good on good hard practice. But I really like the point you made earlier. That might force Carolina to keep things simple for this weekend.
Yeah, I really do think, and especially for this particular game, maybe if it was an SEC game or maybe if it was a different game, it might be some strife or whatever. But for this week, the condensed time schedule may force the staff to keep it very simple, vanilla, some might say, and just go out there and play football and really work on some fundamentals, things that they need to get cleaned up.
So as we bring it back to Charlotte, that was my biggest takeaway. Carolina, what do you learn from yourself in a win? Carolina, what I felt like I learned Saturday was that was a team that was enthusiastic and energetic and excited to play the way that they did. I expect more of the same against SC State. That doesn't mean they'll do that the rest of the season. But Wes, that was, I know they were having success, but that looked like the most fun that Carolina has had playing offensive football in the better part of the last 2 years.
Yeah, and it's kind of what comes first, chicken or the egg. You know, you want to be able to carry that over, even if you're struggling. I think. But these offensive line guys, man, like when they're getting asked, like, "Hey, the game's going to be put on you," and then you're having success doing that, and you're ripping off 7 yards here, 15 yards there. I think that's the type thing that can snowball for you a little bit. It can kind of rub off on the rest of the team a little bit as well. And, Marshawn Lloyd doing what he was doing, looking back, Christian Bill Smith. I thought the rest of the guys too, like the tight ends and the wide receivers outside blocking, like it was a total team effort. Anytime you see that clip where you see a running back has like broken off down the field and you see like a tight end and a wide receiver like sprinting along with him, just looking for somebody to hit, that's when that play was probably pretty well executed from all 11 guys. And I thought early on the offensive linemen were able to like get to that second level and kind of get hats on linebackers, which is something against the other opponents I didn't really feel like they were able to do for much of the season so far.
Yeah, I think keeping it simple is something we talked about a lot going into the game. So, you looked at Charlotte's defense and said, okay, this should be, in theory, on paper, a game where South Carolina can line up, have the best rushing performance. I know Wes had predicted on Gamecock Central that Marshawn Lloyd would go over 100 yards. He did that after contact. So, yep, there you go, Wes. And good job, Marshawn, for I'm sure he
Thank you, Marshawn.
had that in mind when he got to do well for Wes here.
I
Can't
tagged
mess up
him.
his prediction. And so I think that carries over to this game, right? I mean, this is an SC State team that was really, really good on that level last year. They've struggled and scuffled a little bit this year. I mean, UCF, they lost that game 56-10. They dropped a game to A&T. They've struggled a little bit this year. But again, like Charlotte, it's a game where South Carolina is going to have the decided advantage in talent and skill and size and all those things. And so I think this is 2 weeks in a row, and it comes at a really good time, right? Where South Carolina is going to be able to keep things simple, run the football, not have to ask too much of your team, and go out there and execute. And that can be a confidence builder. I think you look at Charlotte, that probably would have been a confidence builder if you say turned right around with Kentucky this week. Well, now you have a couple weeks where you're able to do that. So that was kind of a little bit of a leftover takeaway from me is maybe, aside from the fact that they were able to go in there and execute and keep it simple and they did it well, now you have a chance to go out and do that again this week.
I want to come back to something Wes said. And Preston, correct me if I'm wrong here. But Carolina offensive line blocked pretty well, moved Charlotte's front around and got up to the second level. That's a physical thing. That doesn't mean that Carolina's offensive line is going to win like that against Kentucky. But the blocking on the perimeter. Now, Kentucky's going to have some better skill guys on the outside, better guys in the secondary, same with Texas A&M, same with everyone else that Carolina's going to play. Guys that are bigger, faster, stronger, better tacklers in space. There's no reason that Carolina can't block as effectively on the perimeter the rest of the season as they did against Charlotte. Preston, you've mentioned this several times. Defensive backs, they don't want to get blocked. They don't want to tackle. If you get hands on them, a lot of those guys are going to be toast. So that, like Charlotte, not good defensively. Up front, you can whoop them. That's not replicable. On the perimeter, that's just want to. And if Carolina's perimeter blocking players, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers play that hard, they're going to be able to replicate some of that success and turn a 10-yard run into a 20-yard run more often than not.
That's fair. That's fair, and I think that's agreeable. And to be fair to the coaching staff, that's something that they've been really harping on all year. Whether or not they've been getting their guys to do it or getting the point across, maybe this is where you can use some teaching tape to see. What you do is you take two runs. You take the same run from the game against Arkansas. You take the same run against Charlotte. Granted, they're different opponents, but you say, see this run that went for 5 yards is because you missed your block.
Mm-hmm.
Same run, we ran it, but you made your block and it went for 20 yards. And sometimes little things like that may be able to drill the point home, but you probably need to see success in order to start making those points.
I really thought another thing that just popped in my head, Amari and Brown on the outside, like those plays where they just got the football out to him and then had like a bigger receiver, be it Jalen Brooks. At times they even had like Stog spread all the way to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've had this conversation several times about this guy needs to get the football. This guy needs to get the football. Amari, that game was just another reminder to me just how quick Amari and Brown is. Like watching him in person, like he has speed that I'm not sure anybody else on that offense possesses. And I don't think they've really been able to, to steal your word, unlock exactly what he can do yet. But I think we saw a little bit of that on some of the quick screen stuff when they were able to just give him space. Like he's the guy that has explosiveness to sort of just kind of, I guess, use that on the edge and get that extra yardage that maybe a not quite as fast guy gets. So I don't know. I liked his game, even though it wasn't a big statistical game. And I think as the season goes on, finding a way to either get him the ball in space or hit some of these deep balls we've seen them attempt to throw to him, I think is going to be a big kind of secondary part of this offense as well, on top of like all the guys we already talk about, Juice Wells, Jaheim Bell, all those guys.
That just like not ignited exactly, but I just felt a hot take welling up in me as you were talking about that, Wes. And it is not fully baked right now, so I think I'll save it. But let me do it like this. All three of you, I want your homework for tomorrow. We'll talk about this tomorrow. I'm going to let this thing bake. All three of you, I want your best personnel grouping for South Carolina. Game on the line. South Carolina is down by 3 against Kentucky. It's a touchback. They get the ball on the 20-yard line, and they've implemented a weird rule where you're not allowed to sub any offensive players for the final drive. Which 11 guys is South Carolina trotting out? Not now. Sleep on it. Think on it. It's baking right now. 803-404-6100. You guys think about it too. Love Chevy phone line, text line. You can text it in now if you want. We'll probably talk about it more tomorrow. But just be thinking about it. A few of you have hit me with some of your bandwagon teams.
What we got?
Scott said he's a closet LSU football fan. Me too.
Acceptable.
The 2019 version?
That's a good one. I've just always loved LSU. That was, if I had to start a dynasty in NCAA football, it was sometimes South Carolina. It was sometimes like North Texas, but a lot of times it was LSU. Or like when you get the contract offers at the end of the season because you just won your 8th straight national championship and there was an LSU offer in there. I'm like, let me go check it out. Let me see what's going on in Baton Rouge. Love LSU. Shan says his biggest bandwagon is the Golden State Warriors.
I can see that, man. When Steph was really, when Steph was shooting from midcourt and shimmying back down, it's like, hey, this is fun.
Yeah. That's a little bit like Chris, where it's like Evil Empire injecting a lot of money into the franchise. But they're just really, they just play just a beautiful brand.
It was fun.
Basketball /
That's something fun to be a part of.
Footy. Yeah. So that's a good one. A couple other Braves fans here. Jacob says he went to the Bills-Pats playoff game last January, coldest he's ever been. His girlfriend is a Pats fan, but I definitely enjoyed watching the Bills score on every possession. Plus, the fans are awesome. I was teetering on joining the Bills bandwagon before that game. But that game sealed it.
Well, the only way you can join that bandwagon is to get crushed on a table. So a table on fire.
Yeah.
So if you send us a video with that, then somebody can welcome you in. Initiation.
I guess Mina Kimes was at the Bills Monday night game against the Titans, and she just posted a picture of herself like walking around the parking lot, and people were like, "When are you going through a table?" And I was thinking, like, how many Mina Kimes would it take to break a table?
I don't know if you could throw that with enough force. I'm just thinking of the physics here. I don't know if that would work.
I don't think so. But yeah, Bills fans make everything fun as well. All right, 803-404-6100. If you have any other bandwagon teams or any bandwagons that you're on right now, let us know. And the Love Chevy phone line or the text line. We'll also keep talking Carolina Charlotte, Carolina SC State, just a couple hours away from Shane Beamer's weekly press conference as well.
More of the Extra Point coming up next on 107.5 The Game.
The demand for your used car is at an all-time high, and it's never been worth more. Herndon Chevrolet needs your trade. We'll buy your car, even if you don't buy ours. And to prove it, we're willing to beat any written offer by $500. That's right, we'll beat any written offer by $500. Visit Herndon Chevrolet today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Smile. 803-630-5929 for more details.
This is Stephen Nuttall. Since the day my dad and granddad opened Nuttall Tire in 1984, we have provided the best brands with superior service. And now, nearly 4 decades later, many families from day one still trust us to keep their vehicles in top shape. With an average 5-star rating on over 3,500 reviews, we are the answer for all of your automotive needs. From tires and brakes to complete engine repair. Stop by and see us at our new location at 3215 Two Notch Road, just 2.5 miles from our old location. Nuttall's, where my family takes pride in serving yours.
Travis Benson, the owner of CNT Foundations. Travis, a sinking foundation can give a homeowner a sinking feeling. How can you help?
At CNT Foundations, we are your foundation experts, not expert salespeople. As general contractors, we offer lifetime solutions and real peace of mind.
Call 803-805-8044. CNT Foundations, your foundation experts.
Hey Midlands, Gus Hurlong with Midas Auto Service and Tires.
This is DK Joyner from Midas in the Midlands. I will not take my car anywhere for service but Midas. Total car care. Trust me, you will win at Midas.
Thanks, DK. And don't forget to ask about our loaner cars while your vehicle is serviced.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
One search engine is used by 9 out of 10 consumers. Hint, the name begins with a G. And there are hundreds of things that go into being ranked highly by that engine. Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups and you find yourself on page 7. But at Cumulus Boost, we have the experts and resources to fix what's wrong and boost your findability so you can rank higher than your competition. Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
Employee onboarding?
Automated.
Customer support?
Automated.
What if you could automate all your company's routine operation tasks and do it easily? Lead management.
Automated.
With Zapier, you can. Zapier is the leader in no-code automation. Connect over 5,000 apps, automate almost any workflow, and streamline your team's performance without hiring a developer and with no coding required. That's right. Zapier's templates make it simple for you to automate anything in minutes, no matter your level of expertise. Zapier eliminates routine tasks and frees your employees to focus on the bigger picture. And with Zapier's advanced security features and annual SOC 2 audits, your data is safe and secure. See why thousands of companies, including Slack, Salesforce, and HubSpot, trust Zapier to automate their businesses. Even complex tasks?
Automated with Zapier.
Try Zapier for free today at zapier.com/radio. That's ZAPIER.com/radio. Zapier.com/radio.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson. The Settlement Specialist, LLC, is responsible for the content of this ad. Attention. This is an important message for anyone that spent time at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. If you or a family member lived, worked, or served at Camp Lejeune at any time between August 1st, 1953 and December 31st, 1987 and developed a serious health condition, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Call 800-215-9771 now to see if you qualify. That's right. Studies have found the water at Camp Lejeune was contaminated with toxic chemicals for decades, causing serious health conditions such as bladder, breast, or kidney cancer, Parkinson's, leukemia, and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Congress has approved and President Biden has signed a new law allowing anyone that spent time at the base affected by injury to seek the justice they deserve. Billions of dollars have been set aside by the government to compensate victims. If you or a family member lived, worked, or served at Camp Lejeune during this time and developed a serious health condition, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation even if you were denied a disability claim in the past. Call 800-215-9771 now to see if you qualify. Hurry, time is limited. Call 800-215-9771. That's 800-215-9771. 800-215-9771.
It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, presented by Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen with Pearson Fowler, Chris Clark, and Wes Mitchell on the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
11:39 Tuesday morning. Welcome back into the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. Pearson, Preston, Wes, Chris here with you in the Herndon Chevy Studios of 107.5 The Game. And before we get back into some thoughts, any residual thoughts on Carolina Charlotte that you guys might have in looking ahead to SC State? Now, a couple days sooner, day after tomorrow, which, by the way, Wes, I heard you talking about this before the show, but love Thursday night games. Carolina used to always open up on Thursdays. They're the best.
It's a great throwback, I feel like, to the Spurrier era. Those were fun times, obviously, and you'd always have some decent matchups on Thursday as well. Like I remember that South Carolina-Kentucky game in a monsoon, I feel like, the Eric Norwood game, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. The first game of the Spurrier era, I was in class, and as a freshman that day, I went to my first class because it was one of those classes you didn't need to miss. Then I skipped out the rest of them, went to the stadium. Those were fun memories. Like I liked the Thursday night kickoffs. And then
wait, hold on. We have a teacher in our presence.
I was
skipping class.
Well, there was two parts of me. There's the teacher part that when don't set yourself up for failure as a teacher. If you know there's an imminent skip day, like when the fair's in town or something like, don't do something and expect a lot of people or productivity in class. That's something I've learned over years. But also I was hoping you didn't go to class that day.
Yeah, because it's day one of the Spurrier era.
Yeah.
Like this is I feel like if you're building a community and building excitement, like camaraderie within your university, you may, as an administrator or teacher, be like, all right, guys, you're not allowed to skip class. But you're really thinking, go to the game. Like this is college.
Exactly.
What do you remember from the one class you attended?
I think there was a lot of people that had different drinks in their cups, is what I remember.
What class was it?
It was like a stat class. I think.
So you don't even totally remember what class it was. What do you remember from that first game?
To Noah Whiteside, touchdown. Like I remember that first play and thinking, wow, this is going to be easy.
So you made the right decision. One of those things is memorable. One of those things was not.
Yes, definitely. But I believe your point you were going to get to was Saturday for Gamecock fans is now throw on some game day, maybe throw on some food, and no pressure. You can just watch football all day.
Very nice. I love it. And there's a bunch of good SEC games. Very interested to see Arkansas and Alabama. Texas A&M and Mississippi State should be an interesting game. There's a couple other good ones. I don't think Kentucky's playing anybody because Kentucky never plays anybody good, but a couple other SEC teams have some good outings. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. Did you like the Thursday games, Preston? Did you ever play a Thursday game?
We only played one. We was just talking about it. We played in that one after 9/11, which was obviously different. Yeah. But it was a cool deal because you play on Thursday, then you usually get off on Friday and Saturday. So those Friday parties that you missed, you get a chance to attend now
and make up for all the ones that you missed.
For sure.
That's exciting.
Sure. That's what it's all about.
Thursday's good.
Is there anything to be said for having a couple extra days for Kentucky, both maybe game planning or just also a couple of days left to heal, extra days to heal up?
I think it's more so on recovery because if you play a game of football, you're going to get banged up regardless of who you're playing against. And so it's going to be some bumps and bruises that a couple of extra 48 more hours of rest and recovery and ice and treatment, etc. There probably will be there'll be a lot more fresher going into that game against Kentucky than they would have been if they would have played South Carolina State on Saturday. So yeah, I personally think the more beneficial on the recovery side.
And South Carolina under Shane Beamer 2-0 with extra time. What do y'all think about that stat? Stat of the day?
Well,
who did they play?
Oh, so that was
That's what I was going to say. So the next part of this formula is the other team needs to be completely on the ropes and very bad on defense.
I was going to say after the open week was Auburn, correct? Or
No,
was
it was Florida.
Florida, and then
Florida,
North Carolina.
and then the bowl game for North Carolina.
Yeah, and I guess Eastern Illinois and Georgia State count as extra time as well.
There we go.
Okay,
so that was
4-0.
Thing is not a thing yet, but we're moving in that direction.
If Kentucky could just be as bad as Eastern Illinois or Georgia State and or implode before the game,
that's all that's required.
Would be fantastic.
The other thing I was going to say is there were a couple of cues going into this game anyway. Darius Rush, Stone Blanton, guys that were getting healthier that I wonder if they'll be held out because it's a short week, so they will not have had the full time to recover, and then we'll end up just getting an extra week.
Every game is just as important as every other game, Pearson.
Yeah, but what if Darius was Darius was questionable to come back Saturday? What are the odds he's going to be able to come back Thursday? That might be a bridge too far.
I would guess if Darius didn't play this past Saturday, which he didn't, I would guess he will not play this Saturday as well.
So definitely not this Thursday.
Well, he's definitely not playing this Saturday. We can confirm that.
That's true.
But yes, this Thursday, this week's game against SC State, I would guess no Darius Rush. Stone Blanton was he even dressed out.
Mm-hmm.
He was very close on this past Saturday against Charlotte. So maybe a chance he gets in there.
And then all the other
SC
Qs
State.
played because that was Boogie who got in there. That was RJ, who I think RJ didn't get his first snap until the fourth quarter.
No, he was in before that.
He was?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I missed him.
Cam Smith was back.
Cam was back.
Yeah, a bunch of those guys were back.
Yeah.
Even Jalen Nichols snuck in there for a bit.
I know. Okay, so that was maybe one thing that I wanted to ask you guys from Charlotte, because I know y'all have both taken meticulous notes on the games. South Carolina had I know Dylan Wanham not being there forced him to play around, but I saw several guys taking snaps at right tackle within the course of the game. Like I saw Wanamaker there. I think I saw Ja'Kai Moore there. And then I guess late in the game, like Case and Henry got in there in garbage time. But it looked like they had different groups with the offensive line.
Yeah, well, they had Ja'Kai was at left tackle. Wanamaker started at right tackle. Then they subbed in Jalen Nichols at a random time.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Jones was in there at guard for a bit.
Right.
Case and Henry was at right tackle very, very late in the game.
Yeah, he played like 7 snaps or something.
Yeah, I don't know if Ja'Kai played any right tackle. Did you see him?
Okay,
at right?
I might just be misremembering that.
Think so. And the other, John Darius Morgan.
Yeah,
Okay,
very late.
yeah.
He was at guard, right?
Either guard or center. Guard. Had to be guard, I think.
Yeah, I think Hank Manos was at center late.
Yeah.
But
I
Trey Jones
had
has played the last couple of weeks at guard.
I had the game day program next to me, and I had to keep looking over for numbers because it was like I know who everybody is, but whenever the numbers are in a different place, I'm like, wait, who's that? Like I know that. Well, I say I know. What is Jalen Nichols 52?
Yep.
If he's on the left, I'm like, oh, I know who 52 is. If he's on the right, I'm like, who the heck is 52? It's like
your brain's like, what is he doing over there?
Yeah.
And then we had
confusing.
Wes texted me, and it threw me off too. And I had to kind of think Nick Barrett wearing 76.
Yeah.
I got the answer on that.
That was not on the dress list either.
No, he is on the PAT team on the offensive line.
Aha.
So he got an O-line number now, which is where he played last. He played on the PA team on the O-line last year as well.
I will say this. 76 running out there for D-line, you'd be like, oh, we're running at him.
Yeah.
It's sort of equivalent to the 40s in a DB or something like that. You're like, oh.
We were just talking about
big
that.
Trash.
Wes, you didn't hear, or did you hear that segment before the show? We were talking about the number 46.
Oh, no, I didn't, but
yeah,
I know where y'all are going.
Yeah, the number 46, like there's not good players with it. So we're going to get some former game. Some Hall of Famers going to text in.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, actually, I wore 46.
Wait, was that a quote by Preston? He said no 40.
I did not say that because shout out to Marcus Lawrence, big truck. Shout out to Marcus Lawrence with 46. So we have to take it all back.
He saved almost the number.
Forgot.
There's some. Marcus, you can hit Chris Clark. We'll put it on video.
Yeah. Kev Roche came up with that corollary. His Twitter. Hold on, let me pull
You
up
don't get to blame Kev for this, Chris.
Maybe he's the exception that proves the rule. Maybe Kev's thought still stands, but there's an exception.
There aren't. I'm convicted. There's not a lot of great 46s at South Carolina history.
There's some numbers that just don't get picked first.
They don't get picked.
Probably not a lot of great defensive linemen that wore 76. Might need to get that number changed. Oh, and I've been meaning to ask you about this too. Speaking of weird numbers, Florida's got that defensive lineman that wears 21.
He's a big one too.
He's huge.
That's the mass. Like
that's my favorite player.
You were talking about the shape of the numbers impacting what your body looks like. The 21, like you almost need a microscope to see it on him.
Yeah, it's the one because the one is so slender and he's not.
Yeah.
It leaves too much white space on the jersey. He needs something else to fill out. An 8 would be nice. 6, a 0, something with some width.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If he wore
fella.
number 0 or some single number, like would they just make it a really big single digit, or would it look tiny on him?
As stated, it would look tiny on. That's a big fella.
He needs he can't wear any number but 99. Like he needs the big 99.
The maximum.
Yeah.
The maximum width.
Maximum width number that we could get.
He is listed at 415, correct?
Listed?
Yeah, let me.
I thought he was like 370.
No. Let me give you his listed.
Well,
he is 6'5", 415 is his listed weight. He is my favorite player.
Wow. Don't even know his name. He's just 21.
Desmond Watson.
Nope, 21.
Big Des.
21.
He played last year against South Carolina.
Not wearing 21.
I don't know, but he played. He recorded one solo tackle. He, like the rest of Florida's team, is not noticeable last year.
Wow.
But
yeah,
he was out there.
Interesting. All right, 803-404-6100. Got a couple of 46s and 48s. I don't know. We'll probably talk about something else. Who knows?
More of the Extra Point coming up next on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, if you've got a hole in your roof or you need a whole new roof, you need to call Mid-State Roofing, 356-1919. For nearly a quarter of a century, Mid-State Roofing has established its reputation as the leader in the roofing industry. Whether it's above your head or at your feet, perhaps a leaky foundation, 356-1919 is the number to call for all your roofing and waterproofing needs. The quality and craftsmanship of a Mid-State roofing system are tops in the industry, especially commercial and industrial roofing systems. If you own or you're in charge of a large building, warehouse, or industrial facility, then you're in charge of that roof. And at some point, a roof is going to need some attention. So the number to call for advice, service, results, and a commitment to customer satisfaction is 356-1919. See all that Mid-State has to offer when you click on midstateroofing.com. Tell them, Mid-State twins.
If you have a leak, let Mid-State Roofing take a peek.
356-1919, midstateroofing.com.
Hey, y'all, Jay Phillips here from my good friends at Dan's Fan City in Harbison. Ceiling fans don't sound like something you think about a lot because you don't really need to, but when you've got good ones, they work so well, keeping energy costs down and your comfort level up. All kinds of fans at Dan's Fan City, big to small and quiet. Quality fans. They have accessories and light kits, fan blades, and more. Stop by and see them soon. Harbison Boulevard next to Total Wine, or call Dan's Fan City 781-FANS. You'll be glad you did.
Guys, if you've been using or wanting to try Viagra but are worried about the cost, we have great news. You can finally get real results at huge discounts with the generic form of the little blue pill at TryMaleMD.com. That's right, you can now get the generic form of Viagra that works just the same with the same active ingredient but 90% cheaper. Yes, I said you can get the same results as Viagra but 90% cheaper. But you have to go to this exclusive address, TryMaleMD.com. Never pay pharmacy prices of $15 a pill or more. Get the same results for as little as $1.39 $1.30 a pill and get it 100% online at TryMailMD.com. No expensive or awkward doctor's visits required. You really can have those breathtaking, toe-curling moments again and again. Results are guaranteed. Just go to TryMailMD.com. Answer a few simple questions and your free 12-month prescription can be approved in just hours and shipped directly to your front door with free discreet rush shipping. Just go to TryMailMD.com right now. We'll rush you your supply delivered discreetly to your door. Go to TryMailMD.com. Go to TryMailMD.com.
The uh-ohs are out there. Scratches, dents, unexpected natural events. But with Mako and their magic, your car is no longer tragic. So when life throws you uh-ohs, just say, better get Mako! And go to Mako.com to book your appointment today.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
It's the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour.
Presented by Firehouse Subs. Founded by firemen with Pearson Fowler,
Chris Clark, and Wes Mitchell.
On the home of the Gamecocks.
1075
The Game.
All right, just a couple minutes left here in the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour. I wanted to talk to you guys about the Pro Bowl. It's very exciting. They've gone away from it, flag football and skills challenge. But now I'm much more interested in Chris's idea to recruit sumo wrestlers to come play offensive line. Seriously, that's a no-brainer. Are there just is there not enough of a pipeline and sumo dojos around here? Or what?
I don't know how this came up other than my brain is weird, but there's these trends in football and somebody will do it and then everybody does it to where it gets watered down and not done well or whatever. But the big thing was, as of a few years ago, I don't know who did it first, but finding these guys, LSU,
Brad Wing.
Brad Wing. Yeah, so they would find these guys from Australia who, kickers and punters specialists, and sometimes they played like Australian rules football or whatever. Some of them were like 27, 30 years old, whatever. So a lot of schools are doing that now. So I was just like, well, why wouldn't you put a sumo wrestler on the O-line? Great big dudes who are very nimble, have great
that's
feet,
the market
great
inefficiency
hands.
now.
Yeah.
Does anyone know where a sumo dojo is?
I don't.
I love sumo wrestling. I had a moment. It was a slight moment where I got into sumo wrestling for a second.
Did you you participated?
No. Oh, okay. I didn't participate, which would be awesome. But I was just watching it, man.
Where can you watch it?
Where do you watch that?
Like ESPN 8?
Yeah, it was deep. It was deep ESPN. But it's a really cool sport to watch.
Like very technical, like a ton of discipline required.
Extremely technical.
I'm all in now.
And the people and the I don't know if they're called dojos or arenas or whatever, but they go crazy when someone wins. But also because it was, obviously it was Japanese, they were very, very strict. It's like almost silent during the match.
Oh, really?
And then when someone wins, it erupts.
Wow.
I was into it for a split second. Niche sports, man. That's what Extra Point Ocho. We're all about it today.
That's what we do. I have nothing else to say. Sumo wrestlers. What else? What are the other sports that need to be mined for specific? Okay, here you go. Pet theory of mine for a while, and you probably couldn't do this on an NFL team because there's so few spots available. But you should always employ 6 to 7 rugby players on your team because once or twice a year, you get in one of those scenarios where you throw it and then you just got to lateral, and it never works. But that's literally rugby.
Mm-hmm.
You're not allowed to throw it forward. You're only allowed to throw it backwards. You run these lines, these little looping patterns. That is the game of rugby. If you had 6 or 7 rugby players, football players who have never seen that before wouldn't be able to stop you. You score a touchdown every time.
Start running that as your offense.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, you could almost run in your offense. It's just like advanced hook and ladder. But even just for that last play scenario, just to have that ready.
I was like, that sounds pretty good. Sounds better than we're doing.
That's the next step. That's the next evolution in football because RPO is obviously the big thing. Now we're going to build in runs and passes. 10 years from now, it's going to be to build in
multiple plays.
Yeah, multiple laterals.
I love that split second when you're like, oh, this might work. It's like, oh, this is not going to work. This is stupid. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
And then it starts happening.
In 2040, everybody is going to turn on their TV, and we got sumos on the O-line, left to right, and laterals.
Much better
with rugby
version.
players.
There was one rugby player who briefly played for the 49ers.
The Eagles had an experiment going on with the offensive lineman. I don't know how that went or how that's going.
Really?
But they drafted him pretty high.
Okay. Interesting.
How about a basketball power forward with good hands just to be a red zone receiver?
end.
Like LeBron James.
Yeah, you just put him out there, throw the ball up.
Why didn't Carolina ever throw it to E.J. Jenkins?
They did a little bit.
Throw it up.
Not much.
I'm just kidding. People were mad about that when he scored a touchdown against Clemson.
The only thing with those basketball power forwards is they realize there's no fouls in football. So
they don't like to get
those
hit.
dudes are playing basketball for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, this is great. This is my favorite show we've done. We'll be back tomorrow with our best 11 for South Carolina.
I like it.
And a lot more on SC State. Appreciate you all listening, being a part of the show as always. And the halftime show is coming up next.
Celebrating our 15th anniversary is Columbia's Sports Talk Station, sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.